Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fishing with Matt channel. So today we've got another exciting one, including the SIB. We have been sent the OutdoorMaster Shark 2 pump, so we're going to be testing it out and putting it against the Shark 3 and seeing how the older model holds up. So yeah, if you're interested, there is a 15% discount code on both this pump and any other pumps on the website. So yeah, that's code MAT015. Let's get into the video. So if you're new to the channel, this is my inflatable boat. It is a Hydrus H5 from the Inflatable Boat Fishing Company. If you are interested, we will have a link in the description to these boats as well. They really are great boats and one of the best for fishing. So yeah, I use this in the coast, out of the coast. We use it out in the big sea. So the big sea, which is really cool. So yeah, we're going to be showing the pump today. I'm really excited to be getting my hands on it. Obviously, we've already done a video on the Shark 3. So if you are interested in that, there will be a link as well, or maybe up in the top comment or top corner of the video for that video. But yeah, if you are looking for an inflatable boat pump, I would say go straight ahead and buy the Shark 3. It is an incredible piece of kit. So this is the Shark 2. I'm sure that many of you would have seen this pump before. I definitely had a look and was tempted to buy it back in the day when I bought this boat. But instead, I chose to buy a really cheap, bad Decathlon pump, which I would not recommend. Nowadays, I did just use the hand pump to pump it up, but obviously with the Shark 3, I do use that instead. So yeah, this is a 12 volt DC connection only. There is no battery built into this pump. As you can see, you've got a nice little display here. It's not quite like the fancy one on the Shark 3, but I'm pretty sure that the display is more visible on this model. You obviously got on this side the inflate and deflate hose. So this does inflate and deflate your inflatable boat, maybe your SUP, something like that. But yeah, it's a good looking pump. Very well known in the industry. So yeah, it's going to be great to test it out. So like its younger brother, the Shark 2 is a dual stage pump. So what that means is it's got one stage where it fills a lot of air in, and then the next one is a compression phase. So the pump stage is 300 litres a minute, and then the compression stage is 70 litres a minute. I'll have the figures up on the screen now of what the litres per minute are for the Shark 3, but it definitely is a big improvement over this model. So the Shark 2 claims to be able to pump up 3 inflatable boards, each taking about 10 minutes. The Shark 3 obviously claims to be able to do double that and take half as much time, which is a really cool feature for the Shark 3. But that's not to mean to discredit this pump. It is actually half price basically of what the Shark 3 is, being the older model. So this is definitely going to be a viable choice if you are looking to get a more budget friendly pump. So yeah, with all the information out the way, let's get into giving it a go. We're going to try deflating the boat a little bit, and then we're going to inflate the boat. I have got the air deck in it at the minute, which goes up to about 10 psi, so we'll give that a test. We are going to be taking the air deck out, which is one of the reasons why I am filming the video. So yeah, going to be putting the aluminium deck in afterwards, but we will try and see how long it takes to pump up the air deck. Yeah, enough waffling, let's get into doing some pumping. Before we start pumping the SIB down, I'll quickly show you the interface. So we've got an on button, we've got a PSI/bar button, and we've got the plus and minus. So it's really simple. As you can see, it's pretty sunny outside and there's a bit of glare on the screen, but you can clearly see the numbers and what setting it's on. So yeah, we're going to be using the deflate, obviously, so don't need to put any amount of number on there for deflating or inflating it. But obviously we'll change that when we start inflating. If I didn't say before, this can go up to a maximum of 20 psi, which is exactly the same as the Shark 3. So yeah, that's perfect if you have a very high pressure paddleboard that you have to pump up. One cool thing to notice and mention is I can actually hear a fan running, so that's going to be cooling the unit down. I'll quickly hold it next to the microphone so you guys can hear that. So yeah, that's great that it's got active cooling and it potentially won't overheat as quickly as it may. I've let all of the air valves open to let most of the air escape. Obviously you're going to be using this pump to deflate the rest of the air out, because normally you'd have to roll on the floor and try to push the air out like that. But if you can use an electric pump to suck out all the air, then that could make it easier. So the Shark 3 took about 1 minute and 44 seconds to take out a lot of the air, or most of the air, out of the side. So let's see how long it's going to take for the Shark 2 to do that. I don't know how well you can be able to see, but this is the right hand side which I've just deflated. The back end has really crumpled in where the air pressure has been taken out, and then this side is still crumpled in from just being left open, but it is a lot more aerated, as you could say. I definitely wouldn't take that as a scientific test, to be fair, and there are going to be other ways of deflating your boat which could be better, quicker and easier, but it's just a benchmark for how well it did. That one did it in about 1.5 minutes, and that has sufficiently taken out all the air and made it very, very flaccid, as they say. So yeah, now let's get to the more interesting bit, which is pumping it up. So we'll start doing that now. So it's worth showing both of the models next to each other. So as you can see, the Shark 3 is considerably bigger. I'll probably say that it's probably about 1.5 times as heavy as the OutdoorMaster Shark 2. But obviously that, yeah, has got the battery inside. It's also worth noting the amount of nozzles that these come with. So the Shark 2 comes with 5 nozzles. You've got your one there for your SUP pumps, SUP boards, and for your inflatable boats. And you've sort of got a wide open nozzle there. You've got, I don't even know which that one's for, to be fair. And then you've got that one as well, with a little screw thread on it. Whereas the Shark 3 has 7. So you've got the smaller nozzles, you've got the same one, I don't know where that would be used on. Got the same little screw open one there. The same sort of medium-sized one there. Then on this one, you've also got a wide open nozzle like that, which I used for pumping up this boat, which is really, really helpful. And then the normal pump one there. So yeah, it's worth showing it. They've sort of got the same length cords, I believe. Obviously the cord on this, I'd say it's probably about 3.5 meters, to be fair. So plenty enough length for you to pump up your paddle board or your boat. So yeah, let's get to pumping the boat up. I've had an interesting idea. We're going to pitch both of them against each other to inflate the side of the boat. One thing that I have noticed actually on the Shark 2 is that the display only goes in 0.5s in the PSI, so you can only go up to 0.5 intervals, whereas on the Shark 3 you can go up in 0.1 intervals. So yeah, that's something to think about. I doubt it'll make much of a difference because I think they probably spec the inflatable paddle boards or boats like this to being on either 0 or 0.5. But yeah, let's go ahead and start pumping them up. We'll give this one a couple of seconds head start so I can get the big nozzle onto this one to make sure it's the right one. Indeed it is. So yeah, let's go. So I've just looked at the footage and the timer was basically useless. You couldn't see it because of the sun glaring on it. But I basically set the Shark 3 to the wrong PSI. I had that up to going to 9.5 PSI. So luckily I was watching that and caught it at 3.5. That took about 1 minute and 45 seconds. And to be fair, during the first inflation stage, the Shark 2 actually kept up bang on with the Shark 3, which was actually really, really impressive. I didn't expect that. I sort of was expecting for a tie in the end. But then on the second compression stage, the Shark 3 did come into its own and beat out the Shark 2. And it wasn't by a small margin, it was by a margin of about a minute. But yeah, that is equally impressive for both of the pumps right there. Obviously 1 minute 45 to pump one side up, 2 minutes 45 for the other pump. That is very, very impressive. So yeah, I'm going to deflate both those sides. I need to get that aluminium deck in. What we'll do next is we'll do a pressure test of the inflatable air deck, which goes up to 9.5 PSI. And we'll see how long it takes for that Shark 2 to do that, and we'll compare it to the Shark 3. So the time to beat for the air deck against the Shark 3 is 2.5 minutes. Should we take a guess and say it's going to take 3.5 minutes? I'm not sure. Is that brave? We shall see. But yeah, let's get onto the time lapse. We'll try and get a better image of the timer. Let's get going. Well, what a guess and what a show. 3.5 minutes, that's literally 1 minute slower than the Shark 3. That is seriously impressive. Got a nice hard air deck, pumped up to 9.5 PSI and relatively quickly. That is really impressive. I didn't think it would do it that quickly, to be honest. And it has sort of hedged its way against the Shark 3. Obviously the Shark 3, as I said before, is a battery powered one where you can as well plug it into your car. So that gives you the better multi-functionality of that, which is great. But for half the price, you can't really complain. That is a very, very impressive pump. So yeah, as I said guys, there is a discount code MAT015. You can use that to get 15% off site-wide. I'm pretty sure you can get 15% off anything. So yeah, there will be a link in the description down below if you are interested in getting anything from the OutdoorMaster site. But yeah, if you have any questions like the last video, or if you haven't seen the last video, do go check it out. Do drop some comments in the comment section below if you have any questions, as I said. Be more than happy to help you out and answer them. But yeah, really, really happy they sent me these pumps out. I am indeed going to be using the Shark 3 as my main pumps for pumping up the boat, which is really, really helpful. So yeah, happy days, everybody. We've got a nice hard air deck, a nicely pumped up boat. Not at the minute, but we will do. Happy days. Thanks all for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.